Use Photo Markup to add notes and annotations directly onto your photos in JobTread. Here we'll open up a photo, and now we can enter the markup state. Within the markup tool, you'll see several features across the top that you can use. The first one that opens is the free draw tool. That's where you can just draw directly onto the photo as you'd like. And then you can also select that item and change the color. Let's go to a bright green, and then you can also change the thickness of the line. Now you also have the opportunity to add text directly to the photo. So let's add text here, cabinet placement, create, and now you can move that text around, resize it as needed. You also can rotate it as you'd like. Now maybe on that text, I'd like it to pop out a little bit more on the photo. So I'm gonna add a background color to it. So that is this fill color. And then we'll choose what that color is. In this case, I want white. And then I can also add opacity to it so it's not too harsh. Now, if you open up that text again, you also have the option to bold the text, italicize, or if you double click, you can edit that text as you need to. Now we have the arrow tool. The arrow tool allows you to just place an arrow anywhere on the screen. And of course, we can change the color of that arrow as well. And then we can change the line thickness. Great. And now we have a rectangle tool. So the rectangle tool allows you to free draw a rectangle on the screen. Now, if you double click that rectangle, you can open the point state where now you can just adjust the different points of that rectangle to get very precise. Great. Now we also have the ellipse or the circle tool, and here you can draw an oval or a circle. If you hold down the Shift key, you can snap it to a perfect circle. And let's go ahead and change the color of that one as well. Great. And then you have the option to add in maybe a fill color to that as well. Great. And then we can add opacity. There we go. And then let's use the polyline tool. The polyline tool is used to draw specific points on the screen so that you can get very precise once again with the annotation. So here's where I'm drawing point to point. And if I add the point at the end, I can then close that shape. And then of course, add in my fill as needed. I can add the opacity as I'd like as well. And then if I'd like to adjust any of those points, I'm just double clicking and I can adjust them as needed. And then lastly, we have our timestamp tool. If I click on the timestamp tool, I can then choose to add a timestamp anywhere on that photo. It's gonna default to the color yellow so that you can have consistent timestamps if you'd like, but you can always override that and change any of the text attributes here. Now, if you'd like to select multiple items, you can select them, hold the Shift key and select multiples one by one, or you can just go into the select feature and drag to select all of the items within that selection group. Now I can move around all of my shapes. I also can resize, or I can also rotate them as well. Perfect. Here are a couple other tips or tricks. If you enter full screen mode, you can then see your photo in a larger view. You also can zoom into your photo and adjust the annotations to make sure that they're exactly where you want them to be. And then if you save your annotations, you can then re-enter the markup state and adjust them at any time. So even later on, if you want to make changes to those annotations a month from now, you can go back in and make changes to them. And then you also have hotkeys throughout this markup state. So if I click on Shift ? It'll pull up my keyboard shortcuts here. And now I can see all of the hotkeys or shortcuts that I can use while I'm doing my markup so that I can speed up the process and navigate it really quickly. Now you have all the same tools on your mobile devices when you're marking up photos as well. One more use case that I would like to point out is the ability to mark up the photos while you're maybe uploading them on a daily log or anywhere else in JobTread. So if I add a photo to a new daily log, let's go ahead and add one. Great. Now, of course, I'm going to add that tag as well. Now I can enter that photo before submitting my daily log, and I can mark it up to call out certain things. So maybe I'd like to add an arrow to point out this cabinet, and I will then save it and close it. And now I'll see it on my daily log with that markup to communicate any last minute changes or needs that I have. If you have any questions, contact your customer success manager or email support@jobtread.com, and we can't wait to help.